People with misophonia, what's the worst sound for you? My wife has a clicky jaw, and she eats granola with chia seeds every morning. So there's grinding and chewing, but then there's tongue trying to dislodge seeds afterwards. My son doing Rubik's Cubes pretty much non-stop all evening. My dog barking at the door wanting to get let out into the garden. My dog barking and whining to get into my garden office while I'm working. The beeping the washing machine makes when it's finished. 3 long beeps every 30 seconds for a few minutes. I better stop there or this post will become far too long. One entire family of my daycare kids are open-mouth chewers. This year is my last year with our third and last kid. It's been like 6 years of it. They can't be trained out of it because I assume they all do it at home, so every night they regress. I have to wear noise-canceling headphones every lunchtime so I can get through it without getting ill. Their mom makes a certain sound when she talks that triggers my husband. I love those kids and I'll miss the family once he's in school, but this is my silver lining. I'm a first-year teacher and working in a school has made me realize my sensitivities to certain sounds are 100x worse. Throat clearing: there's this kid in one of my classes who does it and I can hear the mucus sucking back down their throat, coughing, sniffing, and the person I share an office with at lunch eats so loud and disgusting. Slurps, whistles, taps his foot in a very specific syncopated rhythm, even the sounds his stomach makes causes me to recoil. Mouth sounds is the biggest one. I can't stand to be around anyone who eats and drinks via slurps and smacks. Another big one for me is loud footsteps, stomping. It can just make me absolutely crazy with rage, even though I know it's not really reasonable to ask people to tiptoe. And add bass to this list. When I'm listening to my own music, it's fine. But if I hear your bass coming through my walls or floors or the outside, JFC, I lose my mind. Low frequency sounds: apparently I recently moved and am now on a semi-main road, so I'm encountering trucks, motorbikes, and all manner of large, loud or abrasive vehicles. Unfortunately, the very low rumble of a bus and/or utility vehicle triggers me to absolute frustration and anger. It's so annoying, especially because I have a wonderful garden and balcony I can't really enjoy eating, and specifically eating at an inappropriate time. Like munching on a juicy apple during a meeting. Gives me the shivers just thinking about it. Also, I hate that popcorn is the go-to movies snack. Makes me never want to go see a movie, really. The way people shove handfuls into their mouth, breathing and chewing loudly while I'm trying to watch a movie, is horrific. My husband eating tortilla chips, or any chips really. The crunch is like an earthquake in my brain. He also makes some MMHM sounds while he chews and it really disturbs me. We dated and ate in loud restaurants maybe, so it was never something I noticed until well into our relationship. I guess you really gotta eat in a quiet dining room with someone before you commit. People chewing with their mouth open. I can't describe the sensory nightmare it is. I have left restaurants and dinners because of it. I've also asked to move in restaurants as long as it was of no inconvenience to the server. Sometimes, even with earbuds, it isn't enough to drown it out. In-law gatherings are an absolute nightmare. Packaging noises. When people ruffle their chip bags, it makes me want to scream at them. In the grocery store, if people are picking up chip bags, bags of candy, etc. and making noise, I just leave that aisle and don't get the thing I want, because that's better than punching some random chip buying person. It makes my blood boil. Clipping microphone, or any sound clipping when it's being produced through a tiny, tinny speaker. I know it's popular to not like talking on the phone, but unless I have time to prepare and make sure the audio is coming through a good sounding device, like good headphones or speakers, I really hate talking on the phone. Liquid being poured. Keyboard sounds on TV videos. I watch a certain YouTuber and they do typing when bringing up someone's name, and even backspacing it, and it's so GD unnecessary, and dishes clanking. I can wash the dishes, but you cannot. I also hate a lot of recent commercials that have to amplify sounds, like STFU, chewing, sucking on hard candy, when you sort of click your tongue against the back of your top teeth, dry skin rubbing together like when you get chip dust on your fingers and you rub them together to get it off, or rubbing your palms together, the sound of my cat scratching paper bags, cardboard, or just my bedroom door. Someone eating ice cream by putting a large spoonful of ice cream in their mouth, sucking off some of the ice cream, then pulling the spoon out with ice cream still on it, then continuing to do this with all the ice cream. No thank you. Please no. Also any beverage that's too hot, the blowing, the slurping, the a lot of answers related to eating, which, same, but I wanted to contribute something more specific that rises above, for me, any other eating noise related trigger, The sickening crunch of someone biting into a firm apple or a similar fruit material. Bonus points if it's unexpected. And very close. And behind me, chewing mouth sounds, blowing noses, whispering, all ASMR, breathing, silence, anything repetitive, think clock ticking, alarm clock, phone notifications, baby talk especially done by an adult for no reason. ETA water bottles being smashed, soda cans being crushed and loud TVs especially during action scenes. The amplified smack smack sound of people kissing on television. Worse yet when they're in bed kissing and talking at the same time. Why don't we smack join the smack smack Phillips Bridge smack club smack? Makes me want to kill them both, but all I can do is change the channel. Chewing anything but mostly gum. I had to have my seat moved in high school because both people next to me were chewing gum and I busted into tears of anger in the middle of class cause of it. I genuinely considered screaming at them. It was so loud, oh my god. Thankfully my teacher was cool and understanding. The sound of people who don't actually have any diagnosed sensory processing disorder claiming to have misophonia because they read about it on Facebook. No you don't. And you don't have OCD because a picture hung crooked bothers you either. These are life-disrupting diagnoses, not minor irritations. People chewing gum is the worst for me. It's the chewing and the wet sounds. Just disgusting, on top of being something my brain somehow recognizes as a threat. If I have to listen too long, I get that adrenaline rush feeling, and I have to get away before I start tearing people limb from limb. Listening to my dad eat anything. Especially fruit, oh my fucking god. I absolutely want to die when he gets his hands on oranges or watermelon. Also a cow, but people who chew with their mouth closed, but still somehow are able to make chewing sounds makes me feel homicidal in Minecraft. I once had to get out of bed at 3 AM and walk across the backyard to kill a cricket that had a really unique sounding chirp. Other than that one cricket, I'd say wet chewing or metal on glass. Chewing makes me almost homicidal. The metal on glass makes me want to throw up. A CPL years back, an ex-assistant of mine was pregnant and she sat at the desk behind me. She had bad morning sickness and had to eat constantly, but she chewed with her mouth open making a smacking noise. I wanted to cut my ears off so I couldn't hear it. It was horrendous. Mouth noises, mostly, but my husband has a nasty habit of listening to FB videos while watching TV, both with volume, and the absolute racket I hear drives me insane, and honestly, neither volume is high. I've snapped his head off because my nerves are so jangled by it. Dog gets yeeted for licking himself. But the irrational anger one is a noise my ex made. Like a pig grunting noise with his lip, every few minutes followed by a nose clear inhale thing. Absolute wild anger outburst. Cannot stand loud chewing, stab territory, a clock ticking. I used to think it was just anxiety or feeling time ticking, but it's not. Honestly just makes me want to Hulk smash things. That, and someone smacking their food or gum. It's not that difficult to masticate with your damn mouth closed. FFS. I had a co-worker who sat across from me and she was the most obnoxious gum chewer, like loud open mouth chewing, snapping and popping. I left that job years ago and just thinking about it makes my eye twitch. Slurping of drinks. Babies kind whining crying. I have to silence the self-checkout voice before I go into a fit of rage and want to throw all my groceries on the ground. That and kids playing indoor lawnmowers outside when I'm trying to think. And slamming doors of any kind, especially the microwave. So as I started reading this and suddenly realized, holy shit, I have misophonia. For me it's squeaky toys. The kinds they give to dogs and babies. I don't know how to describe the feeling I get other than that it feels like my brain is on fire. Tongue or lip smacking or whatever the hell you call it, when people eat food loudly and you can hear all the sounds. I also find it difficult to listen to a lot of program or game dev coding videos. No offense to people in those fields, lol. Human mouth sounds. For some reason the sound of cat and dogs eating calms me. Human chewing, smacking and slurping makes me homicidal. I also can't fucking stand loud stem humming if that makes me able to listen a while, and poor singing. It's chewing and breathing for me. I would happily vote for the death penalty for loud chewing gum chewers. I once nearly got out of my car to hurt someone in a traffic jam while I could see chewing gum in my rearview mirror. People chewing loudly. Open mouth chewing or smacking their lips gives me an insane urge to put my fist through their face as hard as I possibly can. Oh, and wrappers, crisps, tobacco, etc. makes me want to scream and rage. Lights humming or sniffling. Especially right now with exams, 100 students in a room with no sounds other than a ticking clock, scratchy graphite on paper, sniffles and the deafening hum of the lights. It's horrific. A disembodied female voice. Men's voices, see them or not, fine. Women's voices on the radio or just in nearby conversation, is horrible to me. It's not so bad if I know what the person looks like. Dear Opping God and baby Jesus, thank you for this thread. It makes me feel so not alone. The sound of someone sniffling repeatedly fills me the rage of a million suns. Blow your fucking nose. Snoring. I can't sleep in the same room as it. Headphones and earplugs don't help. If I ever have a partner who does it, no matter how much I love them, I won't be sleeping in the same room. Low repetitive bass noise coming through walls and stuff. If it's just barely hearable but just hearable enough to take my focus away from life, it drives me absolutely into a complete rage. Someone sneezing, sniffing loudly, or yawning loudly. The sound of children laughing, crying, or a high-pitched voice. Ticking or clicking sounds are the ones that cause me instant fury. 1 is probably alarms going off. 2 is cats drinking water or animals in general licking themselves. I count it as one thing, BC close enough. 3 is maybe loud children, or whistling. Soft chewing noises. It's worse than loud chewing or smacking for me. It's like my ears amplify it in my brain. I have to wear headphones or have something playing most of the time. Chewing. Especially TikTok or Instagram, people deliberately chewing gum in an exaggerated fashion during a skit. It's making me want to be physically sick just thinking about it.